The end of World War II wasn't just the conclusion of a devastating conflict, it was the birth of a new world order. But why was the post-WWII global system built the way it was? What forces shaped the institutions, alliances, and economic frameworks that still influence us today? This story is about more than treaties and diplomacy. It's about how the scars of war, the fear of future conflict, and the desire for stability led to a carefully crafted international system, one designed to prevent another catastrophe and promote peace, prosperity, and cooperation. Understanding why the post-WWII world order was built this way reveals the foundations of modern geopolitics and economics, and why those foundations are now being tested. World War II left the world in ruins, millions dead, cities destroyed, economies shattered. The sheer scale of destruction created an urgent need for a new system that could prevent such devastation from happening again. The war exposed the dangers of unchecked nationalism, aggressive militarism, and economic instability. Leaders from the victorious Allied powers recognized that the old balance of power and isolationist policies had failed spectacularly. This urgency shaped the post-war vision, a world order based on cooperation, collective security, and economic interdependence. At the heart of the new world order were two superpowers with vastly different ideologies, the United States and the Soviet Union. Their rivalry would define the Cold War, but immediately after WW, they shared a common goal to rebuild and stabilize the world. The U.S., with its economic might intact, championed liberal democracy, free markets, and international institutions. The Soviets, emerging from immense sacrifice, sought security and influence through a sphere of communist states. The post-war order was a delicate balance, a system designed to manage this bipolar world and prevent direct conflict between these giants. One of the most significant achievements of the post-war architects was the creation of international institutions. The United Nations was established to provide a forum for diplomacy and conflict resolution. Economic stability was addressed through the Bretton Woods Conference, which created the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank. These institutions aimed to promote economic cooperation, rebuild war-torn economies, and prevent the kind of financial chaos that had contributed to the Great Depression and World War II. These organizations embodied the belief that peace and prosperity required rules, cooperation, and shared responsibility. The Marshall Plan was a bold and unprecedented effort by the United States to rebuild Europe's shattered economies. By providing billions in aid, the U.S. helped restore industrial capacity, stabilize currencies, and foster political stability. This economic recovery was not just charity, it was strategic. A prosperous Europe was seen as a bulwark against communism and a vital partner in the New World Order. The success of the Marshall Plan demonstrated how economic aid and cooperation could be powerful tools for peace and influence. Despite efforts at cooperation, ideological tensions soon hardened into the Cold War. The world was divided into two blocs: capitalist West, led by the U.S., and communist East, led by the USSR. This division shaped alliances like NATO and the Warsaw Pact, and fueled proxy wars around the globe. The post-war order was not just about peace, it was about managing rivalry and preventing nuclear war. The Cold War's legacy still influences international relations and security policies today. The post-war period also saw the rapid decolonization of Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. Former colonies gained independence, reshaping the global map and challenging the old imperial order. Newly independent states sought to assert their sovereignty and development, often navigating between the superpowers. The post-war world order had to adapt to this new reality, leading to the creation of forums like the Non-Aligned Movement. This era highlighted the tensions between old powers and emerging nations, and the ongoing struggle for economic and political justice. The post-WWII world order laid the foundation for decades of relative peace and unprecedented economic growth. But it was built on assumptions and power structures that are now being questioned. Globalization, rising powers like China, regional conflicts, and challenges like climate change test the resilience of this system. The institutions and alliances created in the aftermath of WWII face calls for reform or replacement. Understanding why the post-war order was built this way helps us grasp the stakes of today's geopolitical shifts and the possibilities for the future. If this video gave you a deeper understanding of the modern world, hit subscribe. History holds the keys, and I'll show you where to find them.